This is a Standard Nerds podcast.
How'd you like me now?
Hello, and welcome to How Do You Like Me Now, the podcast where we go back and relive the golden years of kids' TV. I'm Will, and with me, as always, is Liz. Hello, Liz.
Hi, Will. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Even though we're married, and this is all a lie.
It's all a sham. Not the marriage, obviously. The fact that you've got the conceit that you've come in, especially for this podcast recording.
No, I was just here anyway.
Yeah. So was I. Anyway, let's get into it. So this week, Liz, it's your pick of what we're going to go back and revisit and see if it holds up.
Yeah, and I haven't told you what I'm picking.
You haven't? No, I'm very excited.
But when I said, I know what I want to do next, you said that you thought you knew.
Well, yeah, I narrowed it down to two things because I know there's two kids' TV shows from the 80s, 90s that you are particularly fond of.
Right, okay.
So I thought it was going to be one of those two.
Okay.
But do you want to enlighten us?
Oh, no, I want to check if you're right.
All right, okay. Well, my first guess was the CITV classic Zap.
Right.
And the other one was one that you remember a lot better than I do, which is Spats.
Oh, no, you're so wrong.
Oh, okay.
You're totally wrong.
Oh, my God. All right.
Okay, so those are two classic shows, which I'm sure we may well get around to.
Yeah.
But this week, I would like us to watch a classic that I just about remember called Potsworth and Company.
Oh, my God. Oh, thank God. Potsworth and Company. Oh, my God. I really wasn't expecting that.
No?
No, I really wasn't expecting you to say Potsworth and Company.
Well, I've been desperate to watch this for years. I spent several years, and this is kind of pre-internet dark ages, not remembering what it was called. And I had to describe it to someone who was the same age as me and did remember what it was called. And ever since, I've been waiting. I've been waiting for my moment.
I mean, I remember the plot of one episode. I remember the title sequence, and I remember, I think, the basic premise of the show.
Well, you might actually remember more than I do.
Okay.
Because I have a terrible memory for facts. I remember absolutely adoring this show, but I remember almost nothing of what happens. So you hit me up with this knowledge. Then.
Okay, right. Well, as I recall, Potsworth is a dog.
Yes.
The Company are a group of American school friends, all of whom have very specific personality types. Like there's a nerdy one, there's a really sporty one, there's one who's a troublemaker. It's basically like the Recess gang.
Right,
but
okay.
before
it's earlier than that. It is animated.
It is.
But it's
animated. And I recall that basically the whole premise was around everything took place in their dreams. So they would go to sleep and have a shared dream experience where they would all meet each other.
Well, that makes it sound a lot more culty
than
it was.
Well,
because when they dream, they go to a different world.
Right.
So the world exists whether they are dreaming or not, I believe.
Okay.
All of my memories of this are based on one scene, okay? And as a chronic insomniac, this scene must have just spoken to me as a child.
I think I know the scene you're going to say.
There's one kid. There's a very crucial moment in the dream. I think it's called the Dream Zone.
Yes.
I think
you're right.
Zone. So it's a very crucial moment in that place. And he wakes up and then he can't get back to sleep. And so he goes for a little jog. He's the sporty kid, so he goes for a jog, which is actually a terrible way to get yourself to go to sleep because you're more active.
Yep.
But it doesn't work. He tries various things in order to get back to sleep. And I think most of that episode is him trying to get back to the dream zone.
That's the exact scene I thought you were going to say.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that scene vividly. I don't know, there must be something in that scene that spoke to us both.
I'm going to say this now. I think he's wearing a sort of turquoisey green
tank top.
A vest? No, I think it's a tracksuit. So I think there's green with white on both the top and the trousers.
Yeah, this is ringing a bell.
That's what I remember, is that there's the dream zone. When they go to sleep, this gang of friends go there and they're trying to stop a baddie. There's always a baddie.
Yeah.
Do you remember the baddie at all?
I don't. I remember, I think, one scene of peril. And I remember one scene of peril, which has stuck with me since I was a kid, which is where they are all in the mouth of a giant monster, like they're on the tongue, and the monster's like tipping back across all of them, and they're all holding on to those little tongue nodules to try and avoid falling in.
Taste buds?
Taste buds. Yeah, the little...
Tongue nodules.
Tongue
yeah,
nodules,
sure.
yeah, sure.
That's a common phrase.
Yeah, tongue nodules. They're
Yep,
all hanging
yep.
on to these tongue nodules, which may or may not be taste buds. And they all fall down one by one into this monster's mouth. But that's all I remember of that scene.
That's such a staple, I think, of animated, any type of peril is being in the belly of the beast.
Yeah,
That is such a staple.
Jonah and the whale thing. There.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see if we get either of these episodes. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
How many episodes do you think were made of this? Because I haven't watched any, but I have looked up how many episodes were made.
Now this to me, from a couple of things I remember about it, that it had an amazing theme tune and quite distinctive sort of this animation style that sort of came out of this French-Canadian studio that put out a lot of these kind of cartoons.
Yeah, well, I was going to say I thought it might be Canadian because you said they were American kids, but I thought they might be Canadian.
I think loads of this stuff actually came out of Canadian studios. I'm going to go out on a limb and say actually there weren't that many episodes. I'm going to say maybe 13.
There were 13 episodes.
Oh, get in!
It's one of those. It's one of those where you remember it your whole life and you think it was always on or it was on for a long time and then you look back and there were 13 episodes.
Yeah, like Fawlty Towers. Like there's next to none of it.
No, everybody knows how many Fawlty Towers episodes there are. Come on. So, you remember this theme tune?
Yeah.
Can you sing it?
Potsworth and Company. That last bit may
very
not be
embarrassing
correct.
for you. I honestly thought you would do more than say the name of the show and then go da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't remember the theme tune at all. I'm hoping it's wildly different from that so I could come back and tell you that was a load of bollocks.
I think the Potsworth and Company bit that I sang, I think that is accurate.
You think they'll say the name of the title in the theme tune?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, a big prediction from you there. Wow. I'm really looking forward to this one. I remember there being a villain who was quite scary, sort of like wearing purple and with a big purple face, I think that's what I remember.
Yeah, that's ringing some bells.
But then that could be the villain from everything.
It could be. I mean, it does sound like generic sort of 80s, 90s cartoon villain. But, I think that is ringing a bell.
I'm really hoping...
Was there a teacher involved?
Well, they were school kids. They were school age, so they could have been a teacher. I don't know. I don't remember that much about their waking life. I think Potsworth the dog can't speak in the real world, but he speaks in the dream zone.
Yes.
I think that's a plot point.
I think there are twins in the gang as well.
No, it's Recess.
No, I think there are a set of twins in the gang. I think there are.
Rugrats?
No, I'm thinking in Potsworth and Company set of twins.
I don't think there are.
I think there are. I think there are two kids.
Think there are.
I think they're a brother and sister. Because they
obviously, because they're twins.
In the...
They'd have to be related, Will.
in the intro, I swear they used to run in and they used to jump into bunk beds.
Oh, bunk beds.
Yeah.
Oh, that is ringing a bell. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Maybe I'll eat my words.
Not so quick to pour scorn on my twin theory now.
Maybe I'll eat my words. Anyway, I'm really excited about this one.
Oh, God,
I remember it as being one of my favourite shows. I can't wait. Let's go and watch it.
Yes. All right. We're going to go and watch some Potsworth and Company and relive our youth, and we will report back. Duncan, I'm blind. And we're back. So we've just gone off and watched 2 episodes of Potsworth and Company.
Yes, we did.
What did you think of it, Liz?
I was so excited for this. I don't think anything could have lived up to the hype.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel.
I was like, I remember this as one of the great moments of my youth, watching these episodes. I went through this journey to discover what it was, and then we just watched it, and it's okay.
Yeah, I to be honest, I'm not even sure. Okay. I was very disappointed by it because if
you're going to go in hard on this, I will defend it.
Okay. I mean, we'll get there, but I mean, this is how I feel. Right? This is one of those things that in my mind, and I know it's like hindsight and rose-tinted glasses, I have this as like, this was one of the seminal cartoons. This is like an amazing cartoon.
Yeah.
And I'm watching back now and I'm like,
I did laugh a few times. And you laughed a few times.
I did laugh a few times.
And I also had this feeling like we're not watching the classic episodes. Like there are only 13 and we watched 2. So probably that's a total lie, I'm telling myself. But I don't know. I just wanted to love it like so much.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think like I think it kind of felt like, because of the 2 episodes we watched, only one had the main villain, the Nightmare Prince.
The Nightmare Prince. He's the guy I thought was all in purple, but he's actually a kind of sickly blue.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like huge on top and withers down to nothing.
Yeah. There's another like cartoon character I think he looks like, and I can't think of
Yeah,
who
he
it
does.
is.
He does. And he's a cool villain. I think he is really funny to me. We only got one little scene of him talking to his mum on the phone, and she's like
that.
telling him what to do, and that was really funny to me. Like an unseen mother character is always funny.
Yeah, and the phone comes out of his sleeve. Everything comes out of his sleeve,
funny!
which I like.
Yeah.
That I did.
We liked that.
I mean, but the thing is, obviously, before we went and watched, we talked about this, and I said, and I thought this was like that French-Canadian school animation, and this is not. This is Hanna-Barbera.
Yes, it is actually.
Which came as,
surprising.
which I think puts it in context of even more a little bit disappointing, because you think about the amazing stuff that's come from Hanna-Barbera. You're looking like,
this is not up there.
Yeah, this is not up there with the Flintstones and the Jetsons and Yogi Bear. It's not up there with all that stuff. And then you've got this, and I really thought, this was going to be.
No, well, of course it's not up there, but I don't think the brand name that's on it should affect how you feel about it. Like I still enjoyed it for what it's worth. It did make me laugh. I feel like I could watch it quite happily. I just didn't get as excited as I wanted to.
No, but we've talked about the Nightmare Prince. Other things, I'd forgotten so much about this show. Like, let's start off with the kids.
Yes, the kids.
The Midnight Patrol.
They're called the Midnight Patrol, and the show is actually called the Midnight Patrol. Everywhere else, no, in the US, but the BBC felt that it would be irresponsible to promote kids being up after midnight.
Oh, okay.
So they changed it to Potsworth and Company,
right?
Which does sound like a very BBC title.
It does, especially. But then it also, that brings me to a point, because that actually explains a lot of things, because Potsworth is not the character you should be basing this around.
No, and Midnight Patrol is the perfect name for it. It's about a gang of kids called the Midnight Patrol. The show should be called Midnight Patrol.
Yeah, absolutely should be. Or, like Potsworth and the Midnight Patrol, if you really want to, mince words. But even then, Potsworth is not the central character to all this.
He's not, but he is the British character.
He's a sassy one.
He's a sassy English bitch.
He is a sassy bitch.
I loved Potsworth, and I think probably that's what appealed to me as a kid, is that Potsworth is hilarious. He breaks the fourth wall. He just turns to the camera, and he's like, look at what they're doing now. Like, as these kids get into the normal scrapes that a bunch of kids in a cartoon get into, and they volunteer to do this, and then they get involved in that, and he's just above it all. I think probably that sold me as a kid, because that is very much on brand for me. My favourite Disney characters are like Cogsworth from Beauty and the Beast, Archimedes from Sword in the Stone. They're all the kind of
stuffy English,
stuffy old bastards. Which is very much my brand.
I did, but he's a miserable bastard, and he's really snidey as well.
Yeah, I loved it. That was the best thing.
But I think he is kind of like an antidote to you compare it to other famous cartoon dogs like.
Are you going to do a rundown of famous cartoon
Just
dogs
a couple.
now? Okay.
Like Scooby-Doo, Scrappy-Doo, and Astro from the Jetsons
Okay.
are all very they're basically the same dog.
Yeah.
They're basically all just that, goofy, super hyper-energetic, everything else. And I think actually having this kind of, this stone-cold sass from this very withering English dog. He's basically like Alfred from Batman, but in dog form.
Yes, he is. But a spaniel.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I loved Potsworth. I absolutely loved him. And the episodes we watched, there was kind of not enough Potsworth in Potsworth and Company.
No, there wasn't. In one of the episodes, there weren't even all the kids.
Yeah, and there was no explanation for that. So we should run down the kids, actually.
Yeah, okay, because I'd forgotten, we remembered, one or two of them.
And
bits.
you said to me that there were twins, and there are no twins.
There are not. There are a brother and sister.
Yes, the bunk beds bit, I acknowledged that rang a bell, and the bunk beds was true. There's brother and sister.
You've got Nick and Rosie.
Yeah, Nick is Super Nick.
Yes.
So he can fly in the dream world.
Mm-hmm.
And he's younger than Rosie, so she kind of looks after him. He has a sort of turtle or dinosaur toy which comes to life.
Murphy.
Murphy.
Right. I love Murphy.
Yeah?
I want a Murphy toy.
So
Like-
that you actually like.
Yeah,
You like something.
immediately. I like quite a lot about this, but Murphy definitely up there because immediately, as soon as Murphy's on screen and moving around talking, and he's got that classic cartoon thing of like the smaller a thing is in cartoons in relative scale, the less speech it has, the less
Yes.
noise it makes.
Yes.
So like Murphy,
He's
all
very
Murphy does is
cute.
go like,
Yeah.
and like that is just incredibly cute.
Murphy's incredibly cute. So that's a kind of dinosaur toy who comes to life in the dream world, and Nick can fly. Potsworth is owned by Carter,
Yes.
who is African American,
Yep.
and he is he's that very kind of 90s hip kid because he's got like the fade, you know,
Yeah,
his
he's
hair,
got the fade.
and
He's got the t-shirt, like the baseball t-shirt with like the main body and the contrasting sleeves.
yeah, I don't know, like, I can't remember the year this is, but like, I don't know how big Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is, but
It's got that vibe.
he's got that vibe. But he's what I did like is he's not like into like sports or something. He's into art, which is really cool. So his power in the dream world is to anything he draws can become real.
Yeah, he's got this magic paintbrush and
Yes, which like he can draw a door and they can escape through it, or he can draw an item that they need, which is a really cool power.
incredibly useful power. I mean, I would argue probably the best power of all of these is the ability to create anything.
Yes, to create any substance, or that seems pretty
But
good.
I mean, it's a good thing that his art skills are as good as they are.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine if it was a bit shonky and he was having to like this is much like Penny Crayon, where it's actually like it entirely depends on the quality of the artist.
You draw something and it's shit, yeah. So on the less good power scale, there is Keiko,
Yep.
who is a young girl who's sort of like almost elects herself leader. She's not a bossy boots, but
she kind of came in as the leader. Yeah.
She has a flying skateboard.
Well, I mean, that's still pretty cool.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, she has a flying skateboard and she can go super quick on that flying skateboard. Of course, you can because it's a flying skateboard.
Who would want a slow flying skateboard?
Well, that's the point. I mean, I think the point is she can go a lot quicker than a regular skateboard.
Can she?
Well, I got the impression of that, certainly. I mean, she's whipping about that cave, picking up all the items that they need for filling people's dream orders.
Yeah, so Super Nick's sister, going back to the other bunk bed owner, Rosie, is a ginger girl who has no special powers and is just generally a pain in the arse.
I wrote that too. She's a pain. She likes to shop and she likes a bargain.
Yeah, and well, I looked up a couple of the other episodes. I looked up all their like synopses on Wikipedia because I wanted to find the one where Carter can't get back to sleep, but that's by the by. I didn't. Okay, so whatever. But Rosie being kind of a pain in the arse is actually the theme of 2 of the 13 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, where they're just like, get rid of Rosie or help Rosie not to be a old stick in the mud.
See, this just to me sounds like the head writer on this had a sister they didn't really like much growing up.
Yeah, probably. Because Super Nick is clearly the coolest.
Absolutely, Super Nick is the coolest.
He flies and has Murphy.
Yeah.
Carter has Potsworth, though, so I'd probably want to be Carter.
Yeah,
like, drawing and Potsworth, that's cool.
I mean, Potsworth doesn't have any powers other than he can speak.
Well, that's a power.
I mean,
for a dog.
it is a power, but I mean, what else is he bringing to the table other than sass?
If you don't believe sass is a superpower, then I don't know how we've got this far.
Oh, I mean, point taken. Point taken.
So those are the kids.
Yeah.
And one of the episodes we watched was called The Wishing Whale, and Keiko's not in it, and it's just never explained.
No, until she turns up at the end and is like, hey, where were you guys? I couldn't find you in the dream zone last night.
Yeah.
Like next morning when they're all awake.
Yeah. I guess maybe because she's so sensible that she would have stopped them going off on a whale, which they travel off on a whale, which is a white whale, and it has a massive, massive head. And at first, it kind of looked like a sperm to me. Like a massive, massive sperm.
Yeah.
Not a sperm whale, sperm. And the kids ride it. They ride the massive sperm to a weird island, and then they get their dreams. So the kids, it's Nick, Super Nick, Carter,
Rosie,
and Potsworth that get their dreams. So Potsworth's dream is that in his world, all of the dogs have houses and all of the people act like dogs.
Yep.
Rosie's dream is a shopping mall where everything's 50% off, which, hello, why is everything not free in your dream? What a terrible dream. Maybe they're right to hate Rosie. I don't know.
Dream bigger, Rosie.
You go insane. Carter's dream is he's on stage and literally every time he hits paintbrush, touches the canvas, a whole stadium of people go nuts for him.
Yeah, it's his art is appreciated because like the precursor to this whole thing is when they're awake during the day. Like he, I think, is trying to show some art. That's it. He has like a sign for a barbecue, and it gets trampled over as people are leaving. And he's like, "No one appreciates my art," and everyone else is like, "We're having a clean up, and this is a pain." But it feels like his is the only one that's actually a genuine motivation for this. Everyone else is like, we had to shoehorn everyone in, and they literally couldn't come up with anything for Keiko.
Yeah, so just don't bother with Keiko.
Leave her out.
And then Nick, the final one, Super Nick, he is big.
Yes.
Giant, like Godzilla stampeding over a city giant.
Mm-hmm.
Which I suppose a little... He's younger than the others, so his dream is less sophisticated.
Yeah.
Although Rosie's is just, fatally flawed.
I mean, and she gets followed around by this crazy robot that keeps slashing prices until everything's like 99. This is the thing about this. They put this... Because when the wishing whale turns up, they're really cynical about it. They're like, dreams that come true. I don't know about that. You're in a dream.
Yes.
You're literally in a dream zone. One of you has a magic paintbrush. You can create anything you want. I mean, is the cynicism about the whale coming from the fact of, well, I can create anything I want.
Well, maybe the cynicism
you.
is because that whale has that creepy voice.
Yeah.
If you've got a meditation app on your phone, then that is exactly the voice. She's very like, you can trust me. You're feeling very sleepy. She's got an incredibly melodious voice, which is like too melodious, bit creepy.
Yeah, and where does this whale come from?
And why can't she just grant their wishes where they are? She takes them to a weird island, drops them off. The wishing whale is in no way involved in the wish thing. They have to run through a jungle bit to get to the place where the wishes are, and then they go behind a door and they've all got an individual wish.
But it's in like a walled space.
And then there's something about getting back.
Yeah, they have
to get back before
the Dream Zone moon sets below the horizon.
Yes.
Otherwise, they'll be stuck with that wish forever.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense because they're in a dream. So are they never going to wake up? Or
maybe, but that's quite dark. Not a lot of this is explained, in great detail.
No. I mean, it seems like this is a pretty thin plot because, I mean, the one bit I liked about this was the Dream Zone moon when they go, the Dream Zone moon, and they almost point to it and it's like, hey, I'm the moon, how you doing? And then when it's setting, it's like, oh no, wait, I'm going under, hurry!
See, that's funny. That's just funny.
That is funny.
I think it's a bit rich for you as an adult to spend your time watching a child's cartoon and then go, let's put pretty light on plot. That kind of seems like the thing that an arsehole would do. What I would say is that I totally accept that as kids, when they go to sleep, they go to a dream world. I think that's a fun idea that any kid can easily get hold of. And I love that when you go into the dream world, you just have to accept that the king there is called the Dozer. He's always asleep.
Worst king ever. Worst king in the world.
He's great. He's always in his pyjamas and he has a big fat body and a tiny little crown. I like the Dozer. I think the Dozer is a great name for a king. Yeah, and the Nightmare Prince is bad, but he's not really bad because he turns up and he's murdered.
He's pretty ineffectual.
He's a cartoon villain, so he just causes him a little bit of trouble. I love all that, but yeah, the wishing whale doesn't really fit in with any of that. It's just kind of like we wanted to take all of the kids minus the skateboard girl to an island and have them have some weird wish dreams, dreams within dreams come true.
Yeah.
And then there's jeopardy added, so they've got to get back by a certain time.
Yeah, I don't know, that whole episode, it seemed like removed from the Dream Zone as a whole because they just kind of turn up and it's like, oh, hey, I'm a whale. This
is what I'm saying when I say I don't think we watched the right episodes, because the wishing whale is all about a wishing whale. And the other episode we watched was called, I don't know what it was called. You tell me what it was called.
I can't remember what it's called, but it was about
I thought you'd have written it down.
No, I didn't write it down. I wrote down the wishing whale, but because that's a good title.
The other episode is something about the cave guy.
Yeah, the grey stone giant. Right, but I feel like that one, at least, There are characters in it who are, from my recollection, recurring, like the Nightmare Prince, King Dozer, his assistant Sebastian, and the Greystone Giant. All of these people are in the title sequence of the show. There's no fucking whale in the title sequence of the show.
No, that's fair. Yeah, his assistant Sebastian looks exactly like Penfold.
Yeah.
Except not a mouse.
Smaller Penfold.
Gopher, whatever. What is Penfold? Is he a
Penfold.
mouse?
I thought he was like a chipmunk.
Doesn't matter.
No, he's not a chipmunk. He hasn't got stripes down his face. Gerbil.
If you came here for rodent knowledge, you came to the wrong place. Even cartoon knowledge, we're fairly limited.
I mean, he can't be a mouse because Danger Mouse is the mouse.
Well, yeah.
And Baron Greenback's a toad. But anyway, Sebastian looks like Penfold. He's only on there for a little bit, but I really thought, he's actually a strong character. I'd like to have seen more of Sebastian.
Yes, I'd have liked more of Sebastian. And I think he was in other episodes because he did seem familiar to me. And the Dozer, I think, is in more episodes.
Yeah. But he's a terrible king.
Well, is he just sleepy?
Yeah, no wonder the Dream Kingdom is permanently under threat from the Nightmare Prince, because the king is permanently asleep.
Yes, because they get there at night.
But everyone else is awake.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I got that wrong.
I mean, it seems like
Maybe
Sebastian's awake, the Rockstone Giant is awake, the Nightmare Prince is up, his little Igor type thing, Jellybean is all awake.
I have chronic fatigue, so I guess I don't judge the Dozer as harshly as you do. So, a character is always asleep, I totally accept. I'm like, yeah, I know, I get it. It's a tough life, buddy. Okay, pal? Right.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, the organisation of this kingdom does not seem the best it could be.
No, but that is a conceit that you always have to have if you're going to have kids in some kind of role of responsibility.
Yeah.
So if your midnight patrol is a bunch of, I would say, like, under 10-year-olds, then, yeah, obviously it's not a well-run democracy. What do you want from it?
No, I mean, like,
You're holding this to a standard that's unreasonable.
I mean,
this was a good show. My memories of this are not ruined by us watching it.
No, I think
it's not so bad that I go, oh my God, what was I thinking? It was okay, and I didn't get too excited about watching it. And I don't think I'll search out the rest of the episodes.
No, but
it wasn't spoiled for me.
No, and I think this still holds strong memories for me. And I think the fact this goes to the point we talked about before we started watching it, that we're both really surprised there are only 13 episodes of this.
Yeah.
Like, shocked. I would have sworn this is one of those things that had like 50, 60 episodes, and they knocked them out. It was the thing there. But I mean, there's still, I think there'd be elements of things I'd want to go back and find the episode I can half remember. I think
you can try, but the couple that we watched are from a VHS which was released of it. So clearly somebody out there has got that. And not all of them were put out on VHS. It wasn't a huge hit. Maybe because anybody who's older than us saw these flaws in both the socio-political setup of the Kingdom of the Dream Zone and just generally in, plot.
That's entirely possible. I want to talk about the Greystone Giant, though, because the Greystone Giant is the focus of the other episode that we watched.
Yes.
So
he was a cool dude.
Basically, he works in a cave, bottomless, endless cave that has all sorts of weird objects in it. And he is taking phone calls and getting faxes and letters at the same time of requests for things for people's dreams. Yep. And he has to go and find them. And there's a complaint from basically the Midnight Patrol get dispatched by King Dozer.
It's heavy on admin.
Is it heavy on admin?
Yeah.
Right. To go and help him out and figure out why everyone's dream supplies are coming through late.
Yeah.
Now, first off, here's a massive problem with this. You've got one giant sourcing all this stuff. You go into the cave, it's just a mad cacophony. How he can find anything, I don't know.
What are you saying here? You're going to streamline his workflow?
No, I'm just saying this.
Is this a business podcast?
No,
now?
I know. I mean, this is a dream world in which literally they have a small child come in. He's not part of this dream world. He's a visitor, and he has a paintbrush. He can create anything at will.
You know what? That is a good point. For some reason, they put Carter on phones.
Yeah. Why do they put Carter? Why do they put Carter? They put Carter on phones. That is an excellent point. Yeah. Why do they do that? They at least send Nick and Keiko to go and find stuff. But they send Nick to go and find stuff. He doesn't know what anything is. He's like 5.
Yeah.
So find a beach ball. What's a beach ball? well, it's a ball. How about this one? He brings like a massive ball and chain. And Rosie, who's just checked out, is like, that'll do.
Yeah, she doesn't care. Rosie's basically a bitch. Yeah, I don't know why they put Carter on phones. I think, little girls can be bossy, and if they have boys to organise, they will shaft them, which is reversed later in life. Also, maybe racism. I don't know.
Maybe it's because he's the oldest. He's the one you can trust on phones.
He's the one you can trust on phones. I don't know. But at no point does any of them go, do you know what? I'm still looking for this stuff. Carter could just draw it all.
It says that.
We're just have a rest.
The thing is, like, isn't it clear? Is he making the dream supplies, or are they just all there and he's just got to find them?
He has them all there, and he has to locate them.
But where does he send them? Like, they find them, and then they just randomly drop them into people's dreams. I don't know how they get there, but he says, I've been working here for a few thousand years.
People come to collect them. The Dozer's staff, they turn up to collect them. Yeah. Because the Nightmare Prince disguises himself as one of the staff coming to collect something.
Yeah, to get inside. I presume, it's not explained, but I presume his plot is to try and stop dreams.
Again, that part is not explained because he does get access to the cave, which he's not meant to have, locks them out, but then doesn't really
just rings his mum.
Yeah, he rings his mum. He does have a toxic relationship with his mother.
He does.
To the point at which he can't really act without her. But if he's the Nightmare Prince, is she the Nightmare Queen?
Again, not explained.
Is he some sort of
Is he Dozer's son?
Is he? No, he's not. I don't think he's Dozer's
son. Because Dozer is the king.
Is he an
illegitimate son? And he's the Nightmare Prince. Well, maybe he is. Maybe that's it. Maybe, there was, I'm going to spitball him, maybe the Queen and King Dozer's relationship broke down because King Dozer's permanently asleep. Queen can't get any time with him. They break up. She leaves. Disaffected son, gets into listening to goth music and some grunge and some industrial metal. And before you know it, he's the Nightmare Prince. Styles himself as that. So calls his mum, has his long distance relationship with his mum. His dad still can't wake up.
How many times?
Narcolepsy claims another family.
How many times have we heard this tale?
Oh my god, so many times. It's. I think it's. It's
obvious to me now that is the subtext. The subtext that we've been looking for. That's got to be the subtext. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, in this cartoon about kids running a cave, monster's cave for him, the monster goes off. He's not a monster, is he? What is he?
He's a grey stone giant. Which is a pretty, unimaginative name.
He goes off on his holidays. He's never had a holiday before. And he's going off. He sees the sun. He doesn't like it. He tries snow.
Not keen on that either.
I thought it was quite political in that it was sort of suggesting he had no workers' rights.
Yeah,
which I enjoyed that.
I hadn't come at it from that angle.
No, you were more on the narcolepsy front. Very heavy on the narcolepsy.
I was more concerned with the top of this fiefdom than.
Yes, yeah, no. You've got to look at the workers. Always look at the workers. So they suggested vacation to him so that when he comes back, he'll be more productive. Which is a theory.
This just seems terrible. He is, I presume, the last of his kind, or the only one of his species.
Where are you getting that from?
He's the only one there, and he's the only one. He says he's the only one allowed inside. Maybe. No one else is allowed inside.
No one else is allowed inside, and no one's allowed the key. And the Midnight Patrol offer to run the place for him, and they immediately let the Nightmare Prince inside and lose the key.
Yeah.
Absolutely
the
terrible.
Key, they lose by basically leaning the key up against the door and going, hey, at least we've still got the key.
Yeah.
And the Night Prince leans out and gets it.
Yeah, and then when they have to get back in the cave, the plan to get back inside is so basic that I actually missed it, which is that there's a back door and that they just go in there.
Well, Carter tries drawing another door, first off, and when he opens it, the Nightmare Prince, I think, slams it shut.
There's a lion there.
There's a lion there, that's it, which the Nightmare Prince I think is put there.
Forgot that.
I forgot, I'm so sorry, I forgot the lion.
So if you are a person who has magical abilities to draw doors, sometimes a lion will be behind them.
It's a thing, it's a danger you've got to face.
I'm worried that at least the last 10 minutes of this podcast has made no sense whatsoever, and that we've just been talking gibberish.
No, I think it makes as much sense as most of the conceit of Potsworth and Company.
So what we're saying is, if you are an adult and value being able to make sense of things, don't watch Potsworth and Company.
No, I mean,
Is that what we're saying?
no, I maybe,
Yeah, I think it is.
maybe, but I'd still recommend people go and watch it. There's nothing else than to go back. If you like us can't really remember it that well, do
just
go back
told
and watch
about
it. Yeah, but do go back and watch it. Get your own opinion. I mean, do go back and watch it and see what you think. There's one question I did have though.
Okay.
Right, these kids. The intro shows us these kids having a really active day. They're running into bed. They're running for all day. They get immediately fall asleep, and then they basically do like a full 8 hours of adventuring and running around and working admin.
They're working
for a
a double
Greystone
shift.
Giant.
Yeah.
Working double shift. How are these kids not exhausted?
Yeah, I was worried about that.
This is not restful sleep.
Because, yes, you need restful sleep to recharge your brain. And then I thought, maybe I shouldn't worry about that. This is a kid's cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely agree with you. And when I was a kid, I think I loved the idea of actually going to a dream world every night. Didn't concern me. I'd probably be pretty tired.
Because when you're a kid, sleep is wasted time.
Absolutely. This is why you don't want to go to bed.
Yeah.
And this is why when you wake up, you just get up. So when you become like a teenager, you decide to stay in bed.
Talk to my mum, because that was never true of me. Right? I never just got out of bed. I was exactly the same as a kid as I am now. I did not want to get up in the mornings. Didn't really like getting up in the afternoons. So, but in general, yes, I take that point.
But I think that's a concern. Really, is these kids can't be healthy. I mean, from this absolute lack of REM sleep.
You're worried about their lack of REM sleep.
I am worried about their lack of REM
worried
sleep.
about the long-term effects on their brain.
Maybe that's why it's only 13 episodes. Just after that, these kids just
So it would just be cool.
cease functioning.
They'd be all drawn in the face, and their hair would be falling
It'd be
out.
like Quantum Leap, Quantum
Their
Leap.
eyes just staring off into the middle distance.
A 1,000-yard stare. I'm not going back in that cave again.
Yeah, I think it was best that they stopped it when they did, because I wouldn't want to see the kids like that.
No, not at all. Oh, there we are. I mean, Liz, is there anything else that you wanted to discuss?
That's all I have to say about Potsworth and Company. I think we've said all we can say. I don't think that it's... I didn't hate it, but I don't think it's one that you should rush back to.
No, I mean, I think that's the question. How do you like me now?
We liked you okay.
Yeah, we liked you okay.
We liked our memories better.
Yes, that's it. I think, nostalgia won out on this one rather than going back and reliving it.
Or did it lose out?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know, you've messed with my head now. I think better to say, if you have a really strong memory of the show, I would not recommend going back and watching it because you might ruin that memory.
But that's literally the opposite to what you just said a few minutes ago. It's what drives me crazy with you. Oh, what's your opinion, Will? Okay, I'll ask again in 10 minutes.
No, I would say, I'd say if you don't want to ruin your memories of the show, don't go back and rewatch it. I don't think it holds up as well as I hoped it would.
I think it holds up nearly as well as I hoped that it would, but I still don't think you should go back and watch it because it isn't as good or better.
Okay, well, and that's it. So, thank you, Liz.
If you could take anything from that, then you are doing so well.
We will be back soon with another episode where we're going to go back and relive another great piece of kids' TV.
Are you going to be picking next time?
And yes, next time it's my pick.
Ooh,
so
I'm
yeah,
excited.
all exciting. So thank you, Liz, for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you again soon.
This is a Standard Nerds podcast.